Hannah Oli Pop Rock Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rock Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hits från Sverige och vi lyssnar till Pop Rock Radio med Jamie Roxx.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is the Pop Rock Radio Talk Show. I'm your host, pop art painter Jamie Roxx, and this is the big show. You found it. Sure, I'm glad you did, as are our advertisers. So remember to be cool and check them out. And they usually have a code or something too. I don't know. If it says enter where you heard about us, just put Roxx or something like that, ROXX, and you'll save a little money. Usually. Not guaranteed, but that's usually how that works. Anyhow, I am super excited tonight. We've got a hell of a band on. I am so impressed. My friends over at Curtain Call Records hipped me to these guys, and I was just blown away. I was watching their videos, listening to them on Spotify, the whole thing, and I am just amazed. They are so good. We're going to play a couple tracks by them tonight, and as well during the show. They're called the Recasts, and they're out of the greater San Antonio area, I guess, would be fair to say. How you guys doing? Everybody cool?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for
having
good.
All right. And we've got, well, it'll be labeled as you're watching this on YouTube. Sorry for our audio friends. You won't be seeing it because you're not watching it, but that's fine. We still gotcha. I'll just say it real quick. We've got Mando on vocals and on bass, and we've got backing vocals. Brian, rhythm guitar and backing vocal. Very, very cool. And so you guys, let me ask you this. Now, how long you guys been together? Is this a project or has it been?
All in all, the Recast has been around for roughly 13 years.
Holy shit.
I started the Recast back in 2011 when I came back from my last deployment.
Wow. Which branch of the service?
I was Air Force first, and then I retired Army.
Okay. Well, thank you for your service. We all appreciate it and whatnot.
Thank you, sir.
Very,
Thank you.
very cool. Growing up, I had a bunch of friends. It was an Air National Guard base in this little town north of Detroit where I grew up, and all the cool kids were military kids, because they had lived in Kaiserslautern and all over, so they knew the cool bands and stuff. All the people I hung out with, they didn't know shit. So I hung out with all the military kids and everything. And, they were the cool kids, They got you into smoke. They were the bad kids. They were pretty bad, yeah. But they were good. I'm telling you, my first leather jacket, a gal whose mother was in the, what do you call it, the SP, the Shore Patrol, the Navy, their version of cops, gave me a leather jacket and changed my life. Gave me a leather jacket and an Iron Maiden CD or cassette tape.
Nice.
Changed my life.
There you go.
Any youngsters out there, I'm telling you, I don't care what scene you're in, get yourself a leather jacket. It'll introduce you to a whole different caliber of gals. You'll be like, why didn't I do this years ago? It's amazing. It's very true. I don't know why, but it is. So you guys, 13 years. Let me ask you this now. Also, when I was a kid, I've never been in a band because music, it just wasn't, I didn't have that talent, but I always hung out with people in bands because, they know all the girls and had the best parties and stuff. And this is a million years ago, but they all played guitar, every one of them, but the interesting thing, you hang out with these people enough, you start seeing patterns of behavior. Everybody was in like several bands at once, and everybody knew that's how other bands started. This guy's great on drums, or this guy's a great vocalist. Let's see if we can. Is that kind of how you guys knew each other from the scene, or did you run Craigslist ad? How did you guys come together?
I'll let them speak on that.
Okay.
It's almost a Craigslist story. I'm not originally from Texas, and I just moved to a little town I'm in. I guess I've been here about about a year and a half. Mondo found me on a Facebook post I had made about looking for musicians.
Nice. Nice. Well, that's cool. Where'd you move from, Brian? I'm just curious.
I'm originally from Mississippi.
Cool. Hard to
Hell,
Not a
spell.
great place.
Yeah. Yeah. He said,
Hell, Mississippi.
yeah.
that's funny. That is funny. Yeah, I've never had Biloxi on the way to New Orleans. That's about it. It could be the best place in the world. Who am I to say? I don't know.
Right after I brought Brian in, I saw this story in the news about a bunch of unmarked graves behind some
Jesus
behind some
Christ.
funeral parlor in Mississippi, and I was
Oh,
just like, "Hold on a second,
Yep.
Brian, we gotta have a conversation."
absolutely. Jesus. Yeah, I can't say shit, guys. I moved from Southern California to Florida, and I'm like every other day. I mean, that Florida man thing's kind of a joke online, but what people don't realize is that shit happens every other day. I was watching the news what was it, the day before New Year's Eve. I think it was. It's been recent, but I was watching the news, and the top story, there was a gal who was delivering pizzas to make money. Delivered this gal a pizza, and with her kids, whatever, they got a pizza, big deal. No, but she didn't have any. The lady, she tried to pay for it with a 50, and the lady's like, well, we don't do change. I'm like, you don't do fucking change. What is that? I'd never heard of that before. So she looked all over, gave her a couple dollars. She had $2 in singles, gave her that, and it pissed the delivery driver off. And so she left, and then she came back an hour later with her man. Somebody had the brilliant idea, well, F that, we're going to get that $50 bill. And they showed back up and stabbed the lady 14 times in front of her kid. I'm like, yeah. And so they had how they interview people in the news, the prosecutor and the lawyers and shit. And they're like, well, yeah, we will definitely be seeking not the death penalty, life imprisonment. I'm like, you just signed up. You got you a hotel room at the prison for life for $2 because you were pissed off about a $2 tip. Are you kidding me? We're watching it, and I'm all amazed. My wife's like, it's Florida. Things happen. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
The stories you hear, it sounds like it'd be a Florida story for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I moved here the same week where the guy ate the guy's face. And then
Oh man.
they're like, oh, he's got to be on these drugs. It's the drugs.
Is that a
And they drug
coincidence?
tested the guy, and he didn't have any drugs in his system. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's not good. That's not good. What the hell?
For
Oh
sure,
yeah.
for sure.
That's true. That's true. California's a weird scene. I haven't been there. It's funny because when I moved here, because people from Florida hate people in California because they're kind of jealous, I think, and I because people like me and my wife will be having a conversation. We'll go to the beach. You got to pay to park at the beach here. In California, you don't because it's all free because they have such high taxes. And so I'll point that out. I'm like, well, in California, you can go to the beach and have fun. You don't have to pay right off the bat. And blah, blah, blah. And so the other day I started in about something, and she goes, hey, Mr. Cool, you've lived in Florida now longer than you did in California. So now you're a Florida man. Jesus Christ. Make it no, it can't be. It can't be. Oh my God. Jesus. It's crazy.
Was it was it Florida's like somebody robbed a McDonald's with an alligator or something? Just
Yeah,
right through the
that,
drive-through.
that happened. The saddest story of the last 10 years that I've seen on the news here, and this is terrible, and this is very true. There was a guy who was over what we call the Gulf side. That's the other side of the state. We're on the Miami side, but he was over there, and it's a little, maybe it's a lower tax bracket over there. Good people for the most part, but this guy, he was over there, and he had a dog. He loved this dog. We're not getting weird, folks, but it's a sad story. And there was a scientist that lived over there also that did work at some lab, did research and stuff. He kidnapped the scientist at gunpoint, tied him up and everything, and said, okay, Your job now is to invent a way so my dog, who's an old dog, doesn't die. And the scientist had to explain to him the cycle of life. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
yeah, you love your dog, and I get it. I'm a dog owner. I've got a dog. But I know as a thinking normal person that there's a time period. There's like with anything, and but I saw that in the news. It brought a tear to my eye. I was like, dude, you can't go kidnapping somebody to make your dog live forever. I mean, what the hell? And but you know the interesting thing is that person. I think they threw the case out. They didn't. They yelled at him. The scientist didn't press charges because when the scientist explained, he let him go. I'm like, Jesus Christ!
yes.
And you guys want to cut education? That's brilliant. Come on. So anyway, one of the things I like about you guys' band is in the description that I got, because I get a little, they call it a one sheet or whatever with all your guys' stuff. For those who don't know, that's how things happen in the biz. But one of the things that I really liked is, what did it say? Texas groove metal, and I knew exactly that kind of sound. You know, for some reason, Texas produces some great rock and roll out of Texas. I don't know if it's petroleum has seeped into the drinking water or all the fracking. Well, I don't know, but it's working. The heat. Yeah,
The heat.
There you go.
we got some work to do.
Everything's grooving all the time anyway.
Yeah. So you guys have always been rockers, metal guys, and whatnot, and picked up said I need to meet some girls, so you got guitars and started singing and everything.
Well, like I mentioned, when I came back in 2011, every time I would come back home, I would go to rock shows. I was a big supporter of the scene, and I came back, and during that last deployment, there were a few times where I wasn't sure if I was going to make it back. So when I made the decision when I got back, I said, I don't care if I'm ready or not. I'm doing this because I may deploy again and I may not come back from that one. Right. So I'm just going to jump right in, and that's what I did. And a couple of things that I noticed from the scene was there were not a lot of people who were really supportive with each other. And it was really about, more about the sex and the drugs and not about rock and roll. So I wanted the recast to be a change. So that's why the band is called the Recasts. So it's a sudden change, right? So I wanted us to be supportive of each other and to show people to be the change, right? To be the change that you want to see. So we did that. We helped a lot of bands as we were coming up. The lessons that we learned, we taught other bands. And then as we started gaining more popularity, the bands that were coming up that weren't getting a lot of support, that we know how that is. So we would bring them up in our shows and show them, look, this is how the flyers are done. This is how you do this. This is how you book the show. This is what you look for when you're setting up and all that kind of stuff. And then we would take media of them and then we would share it on our pages so that way our folks can get them out. And if they like them, great. If they don't, that's okay too. But trying to foster more of a supportive environment was one of the biggest things in the scene that we hadn't really seen. So we wanted to really capture that and do that. And I think we've done that for better or worse.
Awesome. That is awesome. And that's not enough people do that. I try to do that in the art world. It always leads to good stuff. I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, this charity shit. I'm like, yeah, well, it makes me feel good doing it. Gets my name in the paper a lot. And I always make more money. People are like, oh, yeah, that guy was at that charity thing. I know a guy. Let's do some painting stuff. And it always leads to shit. So, yeah, if everybody can win, we're all doing good. You know what I mean? I hate that attitude that you see with people when they think, there's a limited number of people that like music. Are you kidding me? No, everybody. Come on, man.
Yeah, our fans are not going to be your fans, and your fans, we're not going to be stealing fans from each other, guys. I think the more positive experiences that you can give the showgoers, the more people are going to get out there and be willing to support the scene from young to old, man.
Absolutely. And especially when they're watching these crazy stories like we were talking about on the news. They're like, fuck this. I need to go out and have something positive. I mean,
It's
And
more
it
safe
doesn't.
at the rock show, guys. It's more safe at the rock show.
Yeah.
Don't see any alligators eating any merchandise. I'll tell you that.
That's right. That's right. That's yeah.
You never know.
I hear you.
We've seen
I
some
hear
things.
you. No, people. It's cool to see that when yeah, people working together and shit like that. It's like I like being a part of that. And I always tell people, I said I'm in competition with one person. That was me yesterday. That's the guy I'm trying to do better than. Um, I want everybody to win, and there's people always like, yeah, but you're losing money. That no, I'm not. No, I'm. There's plenty. There's 8 billion people on the planet. At most, in my entire career, I've painted, I don't know, a couple thousand paintings. You know what I mean? 8 billion minus a couple. There's still a long way to go, folks. There's plenty of people out there, and even more so with music. And it's just cool to see bands and hear about bands doing that because it's hard. And there's a lot of bullshit. You always hear those horror stories, people signing with labels in Serbia or someplace, and yeah, I Western Union Walmart this money, and I never heard from them. No shit, are you kidding me? And then I love it because I this thing I'm thinking of in particular was on Facebook, and then somebody was like, "Well, just take them to small claims court." I'm like, "They're in Serbia, or what? Are you kidding me? There's no
Yeah.
small claims court. What are you? Are you? No, you
I mean,
learned. You had a $1,500 lesson. Is what you had. So be
life is hard.
thankful it
Life is
wasn't
hard enough as it
1600.
is.
Yeah. Plus, shit. Is anybody? Brian will tell you. Oh no, Mike will tell you. Bass strings are expensive. Oh my God, you can't be wasting money. Jesus.
Most of the time during practice, he just does this. He doesn't actually play. Just
When I was in college,
goes up to the mic. Boom, 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 boom.
I dated this gal that
Yeah.
was in a little punk band, and she played bass. And for Christmas, I thought it'd be cool. And man, I was in art school at the time, so I was hopelessly poor. I was broke as a joke. But I saved up money, and I bought her some Roto Sound swing bass strings. That was some bass player I knew said those are good strings. So that's what I was going to get her. I showed up to the music store and saw the price, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I think I'm going to get her a handbag or something and a pair of shoes. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. Yeah, so that's cool, man. That is cool.
Yeah.
On an emotional level and a physical one. Yeah. Because
Hurts your wallet.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Let me ask you guys now. So you guys are making great music, and we're gonna play. Let's play a track so people know what the hell we're talking about here. We've got all kinds of tracks. So you got well, the ones we're supposed to be playing tonight are Immortal Resolve at some point and Nightfall. What should we hit people with first out of those
Uh,
guys?
Immortal Resolve, I think, is a good one. A good one to start with.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Let me make a note on the my pad of paper here. See, kids, when you get to be my age, I'm an old man. I buy these by the case, and I'm always carrying them around. I don't use a phone, not because I'm cool. It's just because I lose stuff, and phones are expensive. Now, and I write stuff down so I don't forget. Otherwise, when in the editing, our poor editors that we pay. No, they're out there. People, maybe we should. It's so funny because I started doing you. I've only been doing this YouTube thing a couple months now. We've had a audio podcast for a decade, but everybody's like, "Be like Joe Rogan." I'm like, I don't have Joe Rogan's weed. Are you kidding me? I don't know how to do this shit. So we switched to video. I went out and spent a lot of money on cameras and AI computer program, all this bullshit. Um,
The
anyway,
obligatory Shure SM57, or not SM50, the SM7B. My bad.
yeah, I'm telling you all this shit. I don't even know what that is, but I'm sure we bought it. Um, and are probably using it. Yeah, I spent all this money, and now you see right here on my glasses, folks, you can see my computer screen reflected. You don't see anybody else's glasses who's doing YouTube videos. I'm like, how? And they're like, well, you have to set up lights. And I'm like, okay, no, we're not doing that. Anyway, what we are going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is play Immortal Resolve by the Recast, and that's coming at you right now. And without further, I'm doing my trick. This is my trick for when we play a video. I'm holding my cup of coffee featuring the world of tomorrow, and I predict I'm going to be so transfixed by this video because it's so cool. I've seen it before, but you're going to see it. But even still, seeing it before, I'm going to be so transfixed with it, I'm going to forget to set my coffee cup down. And so here it is. Here is the video. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing. Look at this. Now, as I understand it, I was reading a little something about this. You guys got like a fancy director and everything on this one, right?
We do. The guy that we use for all of our stuff, Fernando Lemus, is amazing. He's over at FL Recordings. He's the guy he's done all of our music since the Devastator EP.
Okay.
So since about 2020, he's been behind all of our releases, and he's shot all of our music videos since then as well. So
Nice.
Fernando Lemus, amazing, like prodigy drummer, same kind of guy. When you talk about mastering and the way that he works, trying to get he really he gets the best out of us as musicians. So incredible.
I got on this kick during the pandemic that I was watching these weird ass YouTube videos, like shows that they do. And one of them was called Produce Like a Pro. I'm not in the music business, but I find it fascinating. And I learned music production is hard. You have to know what the hell you're doing. Like, serious. And they would have these like famous engineers and stuff on. They're like, and they would tell their stories. Guy produced The Police. He was there since all the fist fights and everything that the band was having, and during making records. And I'm like, Jesus. Every band I know, like, look at you guys. You guys all seem to like each other. You get along. But in addition, somebody was producing that shit. It's hard. It's hard.
It's
I
wild, man.
Let me ask you guys, Brian, like when you meet with Fernando and Mando, all of you actually, does he's listened to the song or he's helped produce the song, whatever, he knows the song. Does he come up with the concept of the video? Because the videos are fucking fantastic, man. I'm like,
it's a real collaborative effort. So we keep him in the loop right from the very beginning as we're writing the tracks right in the beginning. So he gets to hear everything before anybody else does, and he's already kind of coming up with ideas of how we can make the track better. And this way, by the time we go into the studio, we're tossing ideas off of each other, and he comes up with these great ideas of, hey, we could do this here, or what do you think about this, or we needed to do something right here. What do you guys think about this or that? And then as far as the videos are concerned, it's the same thing. It's what do we envision, and then what he envisions, and then we come up with this really great concept. But Fern's the kind of guy, man. I've known him long enough that once he starts moving in one direction, you just got to let that man work, because he's going to do something brilliant. So, and we actually got to know Fern because our drummer, Dr. Dan, as we call him, Dan was really fond of Fernando's YouTube videos as a drummer. So he was this viral drummer, and got to know Dan. Dan and Fernando got to know each other. And then when we were looking for our next producer, Dan was like, well, we should meet with him. And I was like, if he'll take our call, I'm very much willing to meet with him in person. And right from the very first meeting, we got along really well. He understood what we're aiming at, what we wanted to do. And from there, it was a really great relationship right from day one. So
that's cool. That is so cool. And that illustrates something that I love. Everybody bitches about the modern age and this and that. And one of the cool things with the internet, yes, you might find out your aunt's a little racist on Facebook, but the cool thing is, other than that, is you also have access to like cool bands and shit that you like. You know how when I'm an old man, I grew up in the 80s. There was no way Rush was ever going to take, hey, Geddy Lee, I got an idea. There was no way of getting a hold of him. That was complete. There was no YouTube. Nobody had Instagram pages. There was none of that. And so we didn't know about these bands. All we knew was in a magazine or on the record sleeve. That's it. Today, like, you guys are all so cool. And you have a bunch of social media pages. We have links right down below, folks. You can click on everything. You're accessible. You know what I mean? Like somebody like Dan can message Fernando and say, hey, I dig what you're doing there, and blah, blah, and then they start doing drum speak, and the rest of us are like, Jesus Christ. No, it's true. It's true. And I think that's cool. I think that's real cool. There's a lot of cool bands that I like that you just didn't have access to. And then people
Yeah,
now.
and one of the great things about Fern is, we have this real family environment and this real brotherhood, in the band. And
That's cool.
Fern is just as great of a musician and all that stuff that he is. He's an even better person. He's an even better human being. So
That is
we just got along that way. Real people just hanging out, being honest with each other, and caring about each other too, right? Caring about what we're doing and caring about each other. And so the challenging each other to bring out the best in each other, right? And to create something that we're all going to be proud of. So
absolutely.
very cool.
Absolutely. Yep. Ah. Now, see, folks, I'm going to tell you, if a cat lets you drive his car and it's a bad car, that's a friend right there, man. And you ain't a leggy blonde. You know what I mean? That's somebody who digs you. Seriously. Because that's like, Brian will tell you, that's like somebody letting somebody use your guitar. There's just personal stuff.
Yep.
That's a big ask, you
The
know?
car is sacred, and I fit in that thing like Donkey Kong on Mario Kart.
It's like my wife. My wife drives a little.
It's a Camaro. I think
Yeah, it's a Camaro, I think, and a bitching,
yeah,
because I thought that when I saw it, I'm like, that's a bitching Camaro.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
no, I was gonna say my wife's like, she drives a little Kia Soul. She's 6'2", and she has to fold. I'm like, what am I watching? Tony Stark get into the Iron Man outfit? Looks like she's putting on pants when she gets in her car. She loves it though. I don't
Yeah.
know. I
I'm
don't
a little
know.
wide shouldered, so closing that door and trying to put the seatbelt on. Yeah.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Oh, Sprint Super.
But yeah, that's cool. That's cool too. That you, and I think like attracts like too. You're a cool dude. You guys are cool dudes, and so of course you're gonna get cool dudes that gravitate towards you. People that are serious in what they're doing, but they're also cool. Nobody shakes somebody's hand and then has to count their fingers after. I mean, life's too short for that kind of nonsense. And any young bands out there watching this, get your pad of paper out, take a note, because that's very important. Don't waste time. That's the big. And also, if lesson to be learned, I want to say also they have their shit down before they hit the studio, because when you go into the studio, everybody has these that are starting out with no experience. Everybody thinks you just, oh yeah, we go in the studio, we ordered some pizza, we all hung out. No, man, going to the studio is like riding in a cab. The meter is going by the second.
Yep.
So, unless you just got pockets of money to burn, and who does?
There's also a respect factor. You want the producer to respect you as a musician as a person, and you want to give them that same respect. So you don't want to
Absolutely.
go in
You're
there
asking
fast.
you're
Yeah,
asking for his time or her time.
exactly. Yeah.
You better. It's the same. I tell all that I mentor some young artists, and and they all have phones. They're all young, and I said, "Oh man, get you some business cards if you're in this business." And they're like, "Well, nobody uses those." And I'm like, "Gallery owners do, because they're all run by old people and like me." So they know you're serious. Yeah, if you spend the money, they know you're serious. That's the main thing.
Get
Yeah,
business cards.
We got our business card on the other side. It has a QR code for our link tree. Because what I tell bands all the time
smart.
is look, they may not remember your band name in the morning. All right, they may have had a couple drinks, they may have gotten into some other stuff afterwards, but they'll empty out their pockets either that night or that
Oh,
morning, that next morning. Then they'll go, "Oh yeah, now I remember these guys." Bam, catch the QR code, and they remember you just like that.
smart. Yeah, because not everybody does it. You stand apart. Yeah, Nando, I've had those mornings, man, where you wake up and you're emptying your pockets and you're like, what the hell? How am I going to pay rent? Did I buy the bar around last night? What? This is back when I used to have a phone. Let me check my incoming and outgoing messages just to see who I pissed off and how
Mhm.
pissed off they are at me. But I don't miss those days.
The egg and somebody else's house keys? What's going on?
I'm telling you, man. I lived a very fast life for a long time, and I tell people I'm a retired club rat. But interesting enough, what one of the guys here, I can't remember who actually said earlier about there's always a merch table at these shows. People always ask me, they're like, where can I get the buy stuff from the band you had on the show? I'm like, number one place, a show. There's
Yep.
always a hot girl on a merch table or hot, whatever your jam is. There's always somebody hot selling shit. And now that money, well, it used to go all to the band. Now certain places, and I don't know if it's happening that much. I know it's happening in the Pacific Northwest. They have those merch table fees and shit. I'm like, that's bullshit.
I've heard of it. I've
Yeah,
yet to see it.
I wouldn't.
There's one big company in particular that I hear likes to take merch cuts, stuff like that. But I don't see it
Uh,
too often either.
uh-uh.
But we always have exclusive show only merch.
Yeah,
So
see that you get the cool stuff. And I'll tell you, if you've ever, I don't know if that show's still on, but it was for a long time. You might. Life is a series of peaks and valleys, young ones out there. You might find yourself in a valley and happen to be in Las Vegas, and you can like roll into the Pawn Stars, and they'll say, "Hold on, we're going to call in an expert on the recast show only shirt here." And you could save the family farm just from that. You never know. I'm half kidding because I'm a painter, man. I've been to a couple. There's been times in my life when I had to go to pawn shops, and maybe it was just my stuff, but they've not once ever called in an expert. It's never happened.
yes,
It's never happened.
I don't think we'll be saving any farms anytime soon. But we're glad to
No,
give you some merch.
no. Oh my
Is
God.
that our next show? We're gonna have a solid gold plated shirt.
There you
Mm,
go.
or an
There
ostrich.
you go. But there
I
has
don't know
been
who's
times
paying
in my
for it.
life where I was happy to get that $45 for groceries. I mean, I needed that more than the VCR. They're like, kids are out there watching this going, what the hell's a VCR? It was a thing at one time, everybody. It was
You used to keep your cassettes on top of it.
so true. So true. People are spoiled now, man. You would go to somebody like Brian's house and he would have a wall of CDs and vinyl and all kinds of shit like that. Now it's all on his phone. There's his wife's or girlfriend's crystals on the wall now because he made room. He made room. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. My wife's last car, speaking of the Kia Soul, I shouldn't tell this story because
You
for
can't
my
start a
own
story and
use,
not tell it.
well, no, but for our own use, we were not distributing these. She's really into Disney, like I said. So for Christmas one year, I thought I was real cool, and I put all of every Disney animated movie soundtrack on a CD. I burned her a bunch of CDs and bought a CD book, and put them in the book. Painted a Disney Mickey Mouse on the. I mean, this was a cool Christmas gift for somebody in that world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 2 weeks after Christmas, she got her car, and it didn't come with a CD player. It had a memory stick port.
Oh
So she
no.
has them in the guest room on the bookshelf, but I don't think one of them's been played. So don't worry, Disney, your money's safe there.
They don't forget, man. They don't forget. They'll come get you.
I'm telling you. Telling you.
Statute of limitation, Disney.
Because they're out there with a
Crazy.
cane and a tin cup. It's Disney just barely holding on. Play another track, guys. Let's do the Immortal Resolve. I like that. I like that word, resolve. That's something you don't hear enough of. And Immortal, everybody likes Immortal, unless you're in jail. Uh, yeah, you don't want that life sentence in jail, and the word
Whew.
Immortal will be dropping around. That's not good. That's not good. Check this track out. Yeah, this is another cool one. Um, check this out. Here it is, everybody. This is the recast. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. How about that? Nothing but professionalism around here. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
I can't believe I did that. That's amazing. Well, you know what it is.
I got a little story on Nightfall if you're down to hear it.
Yeah.
So Nightfall was after my mom passed away, right, and my father passed away, and Nightfall was the last song that my mom heard me or heard us come up with, and she said that people really needed to hear this because this was after COVID, so
Yeah.
it's like a unity type song, pumping each other up, right? So if you watch the video, which you did, I'm wearing a pink bracelet, and that was my mom's bracelet that I was wearing. So I had to wear that in the video for her. So
That's awesome. Well, it's awesome that you gave a nod to that. I'm sorry you went. People, that is a hard one to go. Any death is hard, but when it's your folks, oh man, it is. That's rough. That's rough.
yeah, for sure. But when all that happened, we talk about brotherhood and everything. These guys, they didn't stop showing up. They said they would still come every week, like we had practice, and for a while we would just play board games or we would talk stories or whatever, and we did that until that fire came back, and then we were like, let's do something, and over time things got better and all that, and then the track that came out of that, the first one that came out of us being there for each other, was Immortal Resolve. So
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, it's rough, and it's something we all go through as human beings, and it's just it's tough, man. It's tough, and it's weird how everybody kind of deals with that in a different way. But you deal with it. That's the thing.
Right.
You find whatever. Hopefully, it's positive. Somebody asked me this was probably about a year ago. They said, "I was looking at on my website. I have all the past paintings listed, that I've done." And they're like, 2015. I'm like, yeah, painted 450 paintings that year. And they're like,
Jeez.
what was going on? Did you find a cartel stash? What was happening, man? I'm like, no, that was the year my father passed. And how I dealt with that, and not saying that's how I deal with grief in every instance, but in that particular one, was work. I just didn't stop working. John Henry did, and
Right.
everybody does that. But it was so cool to do the video for the track that she heard last. That was her memory. She went to wherever she was going with that in her mind.
Yeah.
Good memory, and then you were able to do your nod to that. Bravo, Brett. That's a good move. That's a good move.
Of course.
Shit, man, I'm glad you were stateside. I'm glad you weren't still deployed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, when you're in the military, sometimes it's good for you not to be home because you don't deal with some things. But there's no other way that I would have rather have gone through that than to have been here with my family. And I had bad days, and sometimes I had good days still, but I still have days. You know what I'm saying? So
it doesn't go away.
Every day I still get up and we still push forward. So
yeah,
that's
one
of the things. One of the things that I tell people that are going through what I went through is make sure you get up.
You got to do it. You got to, whatever it is you need to be doing, you got to do it. It's fortunately, we have it easy because we're creative people, so we have a pretty good beat on what we need to be doing. Can't really do anything else. We got to be doing what our gifts are necessarily. You know what I mean? But yeah, I feel bad for non-creative. But you find whatever it is. If it's going to work and selling insurance, well, I hope you sell a bunch. But whatever it needs to be, yeah, that's cool. Well, that's a cool video. And now you guys, we have links, as I mentioned, to all of your social media. And of course, YouTube's definitely one, and Spotify and all that. Another way you can help cool bands that you discover, folks, is adding them on the streaming sites, Spotify, etc., whatever, to your playlists. It's an algorithm world, and that kind of tilts the pinball machine a little bit. It helps in that regard to be on as many playlists. I don't know how it works, but that seems to be a good thing for bands. Support independent music, man. Otherwise, my wife listened to the station in the car. That hits one. I'm like, geez, Louise, this is. It's like I could tell you what time it is by the track. I get it. It's on. If you've ever driven to Disney listening to Hits One, it's a 3-hour loop, folks, and that's all they. It's just the same thing over and over for the week. And so when you support independent music, you put them in your playlists and stuff. You're really helping out, and you're listening to something cool. You know, these guys work real hard to bring us this stuff. And like and share, hit that share button, baby. The reality is, I say again,
and follow,
Yes, absolutely.
subscribe,
The
whatever
reality,
big button.
yeah, exactly. Make use of it. The reality is your friends. The reason you're friends with people is because you have similar interests in something. So of course, you find this band that you think's just dynamite on a Saturday night. Your friends are going to think that too because they're into the same shit. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be friends. And it's cool. And now you know the band. How cool is that? So I know you guys play out pretty. Do you guys playing out or just promoing right now?
Oh no, we've got a bunch of stuff in the works for 2025. It should be our biggest year yet. I'm sure every band is probably saying that right now. But really, really, and realistically, we're geared up for it to be our biggest year yet. You're going to see us out of state as well as locally. Curtain Call Records really pushing us to do some great things. John and his crew over there, Brian, we couldn't be more grateful to be under this roster. Really great people, great management. I'd be saying that even if we weren't signed and we were just working together, but really great people. So we will be doing stuff that you have normally seen us in, local shows and stuff like that. But we're also going to be doing bigger shows and a couple of festivals here and there. So we're gonna be pushing pretty hard in 25, as well as a new single that we have coming out. We're going to go record that with Fern at FL Recordings this month.
It's awesome.
New video to give Jamie. Hopefully come back on the show.
You guys going to be back on?
Yeah.
Well, no, because I want to hear more. It was my next thing I was going to ask. I'm like, well, that's all. This is great, guys, but when do I get to hear more? It's coming. They're going to the gifts. And here's the thing. Yeah, a lot of bands talk like that and whatnot. But the thing is the Recasts have the track record to back it up. When you get to be an old man like me, that's the first thing you look at in anything is track record. Do these guys have a proven track record of being able to do what they're saying? Yeah, they do in this case. It's amazing. And poor Mando, we started this. Like a dummy, I didn't even know. And so I'm sitting here just BSing. We're shooting the shit and everything. It was daytime. Mando's outside in a short sleeve shirt in January in Texas. Yeah, that's the state where they had to close the grid down, remember? So
it's January in San Antonio, so it's pretty warm right now.
It's like cool, like 75 degrees. It might snow.
Yeah, he's okay. Man. I was thinking he was like it's got to be like Minnesota. No.
That's true. That's true.
He's a military guy. I already know what his closet looks like. No, in Brian's closet, Brian's got a milk crate full of guitar chords that he will get fixed someday, but they're too expensive just to throw out. So we got to put him in that milk crate and just keep that in the closet. I'm teasing.
Hey, I'm a fixer, man. I've got probably 4 soldering irons. I'm waiting for something to break.
Keep him in the band.
He brings a toolkit to practice.
That is. Youngsters out there, find someone for your garage band that is like that you can save a lot of money. Even better. I remember being a kid. My father had a doctorate in mechanical engineering, and he was a car guy. He was of that age. And for fun, he's like, let's take the engine apart and clean it, and then we'll put it back together, it's a Saturday. I'm like, Dad, I don't want to do this shit. No. I want to go to the mall and meet girls. Are you kidding me? I don't want to be doing this shit. And I'm going to be a famous painter. I will not need to know how to do. And he's like, Picasso, settle down. That may be true, but you need to know if somebody's ripping you off. And there have been times in my life when I've taken a car to a mechanic, and like Obi-Wan Kenobi with Luke, that memory comes back to me because I know the guy's ripping me off and they're trying to. And I'm like, okay, time for a different mechanic, or better yet, just learn how to fix the shit.
Technology too. I had this it was a piece of shit 2009 Volkswagen Rabbit, standard, all that good stuff. I've always worked on my own vehicles, but I've never pulled a transmission before.
Oh no,
This thing
heavy.
This thing gave me so many problems, and you just look up a YouTube video and I figured out how to do it. I've never pulled a transmission before. You can just figure it out.
That's the worst too, because you're under the car and all that shit's falling on you, and it's just I hate it. You're scraping your knuckles. Oh, it's the worst. But it's funny because I have turned into my father now. We have these friends of ours that are a little younger, my wife's friends and stuff. They'll call, the car's making a weird noise. I'm like, well, what kind of noise is it? Well, hold on. And they're holding the phone to the engine. I'm like, oh, yeah. When was the last time you put oil in it? It's knocking. You're going to need a new engine soon. I thought it'd be okay. No.
It's knocking for help.
I said, have fun. That's not going to be cheap. I said, you're young yet. Just get a different car. What do I do with this one? I'm like, you can try to sell it for parts, maybe. It's not long for it. But yeah.
Trade it in before the rod shoots to the moon.
Or through you. I've always, ever since I saw that Final Destination movie, that's my big fear of working on a running car. Okay, test it out. Yeah, that would happen to me. No, you're right about those YouTube. My father passed, and then after we bought the house, it's the money pit. No, I like our house, folks. I'm just annoyed with it right now. And yeah, he was my conduit of, hey, how do I do this with the dryer? You'd call up Dad, and he'd say, oh, well, here's what you got to do. Changing a outdoor spigot for the hose. Here's how that works, Yeah, and he passed, but fortunately YouTube was there, and I have used YouTube. Our AC went out. I had to pay a guy $900 to fix the AC. I said, that's the last time that's happening. I'm going to get my certification in air conditioner repair from YouTube University now. And next time it went out, it cost us $12.
Nice.
Yep. Capacitor is like 4 wires. Yeah.
The plan was, until we got the phone call yesterday that they're coming to do the roof, the plan was the thing started doing its noise, and I'm like, it's the capacitor. It needs a new capacitor. See, I know this stuff now, and I got up there. Ours is up high, and I got up on, took it loose, and I saw that capacitor was bowed out on the top, and I'm like, yep, that's the issue. That's $11 on Amazon.
Yep. Or $900 if you call somebody.
Yeah, or $900. And while we were at it, we replaced the fan. I'm like, why? But you got to do it because my wife's standing at the window with our crazy dog. You're looking at me like, it's hot in here. Papa, fix it. Make it cool. Oh, man. Well, gentlemen, I had so much fun tonight. You guys are real. And folks, I'm telling you, these are real guys. There's gunshots. Mando's avoiding gunshots in his neighborhood there. He says he's in San Antonio, but I'm thinking it might be Detroit. Don't send me emails. I always rag on Detroit. Everybody understand. When I rag on Detroit, it's from a place of knowing. Detroit was a certain way when I lived there. Burning cars. People would steal manhole covers, that kind of stuff. Just harmless pranks. I understand from all of your emails and everything that Detroit is no longer like that. I get it. I haven't been there in 25 years. But it was like that when I was there. Like, yeah, apparently it's all super nice. And good for them, because the change was needed. Anyhow. And hey, while we're on the subject, folks, not the subject of Detroit, but just clearing up stuff that I get emails about. I should do a whole video of this. Yes, I am starting a new Instagram page. I pissed the Instagram algorithm off, and my page got deleted because of a video I posted by this 90s pop band called The Beloved. The name of the song was Let's Come Together. There's no nudity. Well, there is, but it's implied nudity. You don't see anything. Pissed off the computer, though. So I will be starting a new one. It's not on the top of my priority list. It probably should. I don't make any money on Instagram. Facebook's where all my people are. But
as we all are.
yeah, they're like, that painting's too racy for us. I'm like, it's a painting. Are you kidding me? What are you? Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was painted that yesterday. That was the first painting of 2025. I got all these different types of crowd. Just, I'm sure, like with your guys' music, you've got people that just like the melt your face off metal, something maybe is a little more, Texas groove metal. And yeah, you have different people. And I got some emails from some of my abstract people. Well, you haven't posted an abstract painting in 6 months. I'm like, I'll do an abstract painting next. So
yeah, I feel you there.
Yeah, Christmas Eve, I was mentioning this, and the people over the paint some ghosts. You never paint enough ghosts there, because we were watching ghost video. I don't know if you guys do that. The gang comes over, yeah, with that video, nice. YouTube video shit, and you're like, oh yeah. What we were watching, slapped ham or something, and I'm like, that's fake. That ain't real. And then we watched one. I'm like, oh, that might be real. I don't know. I wouldn't stay in there, but that's me. Yeah, my wife's into all that shit. I'm the skeptic of the family. But somebody asked me, they're like, do you think your house is haunted? And I'm like, I would feel bad for the ghosts if it was, because my wife has all this crystal shit that's supposed to hurt them. And secondly, we're the most boring people. People think we're really super exciting and stuff. And yeah, I talk to rock stars all the time. But when we're at home, the ghosts are like, really? Another bushcraft video, Jamie? You and Mei Ling would die. You can't. Why are you watching this? And by the way, get some new magazines for the coffee table. These have been there 6 years. This is the most boring house to haunt ever. It's very true. Like, people worry about people reading their emails. I'm like, I would feel bad. Some guy had in the government or the army or something, if he had to read my emails, he had messed up so bad to get that job, because my emails are mind-numbingly boring. There is nothing exciting at all in them. Jesus.
Gonna shovel through all the spam.
I used to go to answer it, and let's mess with the spam. And then somebody pointed out, it's just a program, Jamie. You're not getting anybody. It doesn't care. It's like the Terminator. It doesn't have feelings. Okay, I wasted 45 minutes of my day doing that, but thanks for bringing my little moment of joy down. Anyhow, guys, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. No, folks, this is going to drop. Well, you're seeing it now as it drops. I keep forgetting that viewers, it's different. We're not doing a live show now. Yeah, our audio podcast was cool. We had call-in numbers where people could call in. Any stuff happened. I had a rock band on one time, and his ex-wife called. One of the guys, his ex-wife called.
Oh, man.
And apparently it slipped his mind paying the alimony or the child support, and she called in. Yeah. Nobody uses phones anymore. Nobody watches live shit. They watch it when they have time to watch it. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's a different world.
It is.
But we have seen Mando, like I said, he started out in the daytime, pitch black now. Gangs are running wild in this neighborhood.
It's
There it is.
it's dark now, just like my shirt. Shameless plug.
Oh, so it's a
The guy
floating
that
head.
the guy that we take all of our gear to,
Huh?
Rick McLean. He's amazing. Go Rick. He's the guy that does all the work on our guitars and basses and stuff. He's amazing.
If he's
And
got a website, send it over, and we'll put a link in the description below there for you folks.
absolutely, frets and nicks. That's his things. Frets and nicks. Rick McLean.
Nice. See, and that's what you got to do, folks. You got to surround your. I was reading an article one time. It was an interview with David Bowie, of all people, who a lot of people don't know this. Famously hired a Texas guitar player. If you listen to the song "Let's Dance," people are very surprised to find that out. A very, very good guitar player. But somebody had asked Bowie, they said, every track that you put out is amazing. And he's like, yeah, because I hire the best. I hang out with the best people in the business. And when you do that, it tips the odds in your favor that it's going to be the best that you can do.
Yeah, I think it makes you want to do better, and as you're going through the process, it makes it less painless. Like we're also with From the Depths Entertainment and Coffin Crew Apparel and
Nice.
Undaunted Apparel. They do all of our stuff. They're in Vegas. XL Drumsticks, Fantasy Sports Alliance. We're the official music for that. Fantasy Football League. Amazing.
Smart.
Lot of great folks out there, man. A lot of great folks.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad you guys are working with Curtain Call. I've been doing a podcast since 2013, and I met them early on, and I've never heard anything bad about them. Between us and the Light Post here, you know what I mean? They are seriously some of the best in the business, and they're real serious, though. I mean, they're cool. Don't get me wrong. But they are serious about what they do, and they're not messing around. And that's good. I like doing business with serious people that, folks, if you're going to get a heart transplant or surgery or something, you want a serious doctor who knows their shit. That's on. And your art, it's like getting a heart transplant. It's for us artists, it's very true. We work real hard at this shit. Anyhow, thanks, guys. And you guys out there, be cool, be patient. It's still a weird world. Ask always when you're in a situation and you feel as my wife says, the Karen rising in you. I don't know what it is for guys, but ask yourself, is anybody going to be in a hospital gurney? Is this that important that I'm getting this upset about? No, it usually isn't. Just be cool, and I'll get through it together. Definitely hit the links below, like and share. Go to the Recast YouTube page, because there is some phenomenal, that Full Throttle. I know you guys put that out a couple of years ago and whatnot, but man, that's a good video too. Hey, and before I let you go, I just want to say, I don't know who was behind it. I'm a visual art guy. Whoever came up with your guys' logo, that's a killer effing logo. That is, buy them a cup of coffee next time you hang out with them.
It's a funny thing you ask, right? Because Urban Skilled, who's Mandy Williams, I went to high school with her, known her for a long time. She does all of our design work.
Nice.
Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Urban Skilled.
Well, there you go, folks. There you go. And any artists out there, find you a cool band to work with, because a lot of people will see that shit. Wow, That's cool.
Absolutely.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I don't have any tattoos. My wife does, man. My wife's, because once you get one, you never stop.
That's true.
We need somebody for that too. My wife, she is a tattoo artist.
No,
that's true.
There you go. No, they don't. It never. The other day, and I'm this asshole. My wife was walking through and she stubbed her toe. She's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. She was all upset. And I said, I thought it was a good pain, and she's like, it's different. Tattoos are different. I tried to make a funny. It didn't go well. Pissed her off for the whole day. Worked like a charm. Anyhow, guys, we'll see you next time. And you out there, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and we will. Oh, and now I can say, because it's the end of the video, you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe and all of that. I hate YouTube people that say that at the beginning of the video because I'm like, I don't know if you've earned my subscription yet.
Yeah.
So watch your shit. So if
Absolutely.
we have, like and subscribe. Very, very
Thank
cool.
you.
We'll see everybody next time.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
This has been pop art painter Jamie Roxx's Pop Rocks Radio Talk Show. It has been executive produced by Jamie Roxx, recorded at his studio in Deerfield Beach in South Florida. All rights reserved by Pop Rocks Limited. Hannah Oli, Pop Rocks Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rocks Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hicks från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Rocks Radio med Jamie Roxx.